I'm not going to hurt you. If you're here, say something.
Nothing. Am I just hearing things? No, I'm pretty sure I heard someone. But with no one responding, I can't help but feel silly like this. And the awareness that I've just trespassed at a house for nothing because of some voice prickles at me. Suddenly, the silence feels uncomfortable, and a needling anxiety slowly creeps up my back. I should get out while I can. If it ain't there, it ain't there. Don't spare the room another glance while I walk back the way I came. Out into the window, leave before someone else notices.
I thought I heard a serpent moving around here. Turns out it's just a rat scurrying about. How unpleasant.
My heart shoots up into my throat. I can run. The window is a few steps away. I should be able to escape, but instead, some foolish impulse I turn around. Perhaps because I can only... The impression the guy has left me with what a few times you met is nothing.
This ain't what you think it is.
You're quite the distance from the kitchen, I'm afraid. Perhaps I should lead you there.
Someone's in here before me. I wasn't here for what you're thinking. There was sobbing.
The first blow knocks the wind out of me, setting me heaving and crumpling to my knees. Tears well up in my eyes as the pain swells and he twists my wrists behind my back.
You've gotta listen to me.
Then again, dirty thieves aren't welcome in my kitchen either.
For a moment, there's only silence and a sudden piercing ache. This time at the back of my head. The room abruptly tilts on its axis, dimming. On the verge of unconsciousness, I can only hear the scuffling of a foot and the thud of a door being closed and... a woman. Crying. Asking for help. I know no more. The pain is the worst when I come to a sharp piercing ache somewhere in the back of my head, begging to be noticed, but it's nothing I can't handle. Blarily, I open my eyes, expecting to be greeted by sunlight. However, the walls that welcome me are unfamiliar. When everything comes into focus, I recognize the place for what it is, a cell. Dark, cramped, the only light coming from the moon outside, streaming through the sole window, barred by thick metal bars. Memory rushes back to me in sharp pains, the mansion looking for Ashton, a familiar tone, a woman crying, all while my head still aches from the hit I've received.
Still better than a morgue, I guess.
Why would you death flag yourself that way? Gingerly, I pull myself up, stretching from the cramps in my shoulders as I do so, but stopping when the sudden movement induces acute stinging pain through my right arm.
Damn, they got me good. What time is it?
As expected, they've taken away everything I have in my person, cell phone, wallet, my keys, meds, even a small pack of gum. Protocol is protocol. In the first place, ending back in another cell ain't on my agenda. The first time was not a pleasant experience, and this certainly won't be either. Considering who's likely put me here, it could be much worse. The bars are cold to my touch when I approach, looking for a person on duty. They'll usually allow us to contact someone, and Ashton at least has to know I'm here. He'll be pissed that I'm quite sure of, but he's the only one who could prove my innocence and get me out. Toucan Atal, welcome, welcome. But the ghost is about to kill your ass, probably. However much I don't want to rely on him for this. The hallway in front of me, in front of the cell is empty, but voices float through from further in, likely the poor officer assigned to late-night duty. Judging from the snippets of the conversation I catch, today's topic over a snack is that moron who thought it was wise to cross the rights. They use other names, too, most of which I'll like to have words with them about in the future. But really, I'm in no position.
Excuse me. Anyone?
Oof. Silence.
Excuse me. I need to make a...
Blood freezes in my veins, and my grip on the bars tightens. I don't dare turn. Because more than the haunting melody, I'm afraid of what I'll see. Of who's singing Ma's lovely lullaby. A death song. That's what it is now. But I guess that's what it has always been. If this is the end's calling, I'd prefer that it not be her vicious smile that steals.
Oh, Zach, sweetie. Don't you love this song?
We might be okay, Chet. My head snaps up. Oh, she's wearing the necklace. Okay. Snaps up in surprise, and I swivel to see Miss Wright. Miss Wright, of all people, sitting in the cot. Wait. Inside the cell? Inside the cell? Hold on.
Miss Wright, what are you... how did you...
I jostled the cell door to check. Yeah, hold on. Prison break is the last thing on my mind, of course, but her presence here begs for a lot of puzzling questions to be answered. Lock tight. Was I just too groggy earlier and I didn't know?
Don't be surprised, darling. Money and power can get you anything.
She's really pale, chat. She has a point. Yeah, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, her whole, like, tint is, like, chroma down. Oh. Out of all the people, she knows more than anyone how to play the game in the world. Be on site. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Yet to hear it straight out of her, it's like talking to a different person. I don't bring this up, however. Maybe she's just having a bad day or a tiff with her husband. After the incident the other day at the party, well, I don't like gossip, but it won't be surprising. Anyone can say the strangest things when in a bad mood. Still, and all.
You ain't supposed to be here, Miss Wright.
Why ever not? Isn't it comfortable here?
Well, it is, kind of.
No! You're in a prison!
But you're still not supposed to be on this side of the cell. Besides, it's too early. Or too late for a visit. This is beyond the scheduled hours.
Oh, I'm sure Chief Inspector Lee wouldn't mind a little chat between friends. Besides, his prison officers just snoring in the break room.
We should kiss her. I don't think that's a good idea. She brushes out the lock of hair from her shoulder and stands up and meanders around the length of the cell for whatever space it would allow. As if this is a simple stroll in the park, making a show of her checking every scratch and past occupant of the room is left on its walls. Nevertheless, I try to make myself small against the corner, and closer we'll be crossing over each other's personal space. Frankly, that's more than I'm comfortable
Be that as it may, they have cameras here too. How are you going to explain that when they check?
That doesn't matter, dear.
It does. Your popularity ain't going to give you any kind of immunity from the law. I appreciate the visit, but I'd rather not see you get into trouble.
God, Zach's such a good guy. It makes her stop. She's already pregnant. We think. But as I'm starting...
You don't want to get out of here.
But I do.
Of course I do. But you don't have to do anything. It's my fault. I'll find a way out of this mess.
You did bring it to yourself.
This really is just a misunderstanding, Hannah. I didn't mean to trespass. If you'll just listen to the whole story, you'll know I didn't mean to do it.
I'm really disappointed in you.
I look straight at her in the sudden change of her tone, checking for any signs if I've upset her with what I did. Of course she would be. She has every right to. After all that talk, the little attempts to build a friendship, here I went and broke into another person's house. Her home. On so many levels, beyond any kind of friendship, it's still wrong. Her anger doesn't come as I'm expecting it to, however. So she smiles. A horrid little smile I didn't think I'd ever see from her.
Breaking into our home. Disturbing my love in his sleep. You've upset my Prince Zach. You've really upset him.
Hannah?
Panic swells in me, ripping up my spine. Irrational, I know. I shouldn't feel this way about anyone, you know. But here I am, backing away, trying to keep an ample distance between the two of us. I'm afraid, wholly afraid of her. This ain't Hannah. The bars rattled as soon as my shoulders hit it. A hindrance, not to my freedom, but to my safety.
Has anyone ever told you how beautiful those eyes of yours are?
Nana? Occasionally my sister. Hannah? You alright?
She laughs at the deranged little thing coming from her. There's no cheer in it, no warmth. Only spite.
Makes me want to take them home, wrap them in those pretty ribbons I have in my vanity. I'm pretty sure my prince would love it, don't you think, Zachary? A little gift from me?
Stay away from me!
She moves in short, sudden, bone-crunching twitches that are too painful for me to watch. Just Jake, welcome, welcome. I want to look away, but I can't. I'm screaming for help before I know it. Jolted the bars with as much force as I could.
Somebody, get me out of here! Anyone, please!
Bugger off! Some people are trying to get some sleep here!
No! She's here! You've gotta let me out! She's gonna kill me! Someone! She's...
Oh, you poor thing. Don't you worry. You won't even feel the pain.
You've unlocked a memory fragment. We're Marianne now. So Zach's dead. That's good. The numbers are so tiny at the top of my screen, they glare at me with such intensity, I can just hear the accusations. I'm late for a night out with the girls, yes, but I have a perfectly good excuse, jeez. Considering I don't follow typical office hours, they can't expect me to be able to just go as I please at 5:30 on the dot. The client is first and foremost my priority. God, but not forgotten, so agree, dude. I'm so upset by that. I don't know why I decided. I kept saying it was a bad idea! Mistakes. I had to sit tight when my personal assistant, Chris, tells me we have a big one coming up and I shouldn't miss this one. He knows me a lot more on the who's who and what's what when it comes to these socialites. And I trust the judgment call. I really don't have time for rich, their drama, and their politics. These sorts who were born with silver spoons in their mouths and who were used to wagging their silver tongues about. I let him handle negotiations with them for the most part. Why else would I have hired him? But he told me I'd receive messages in about an hour.
Now, if only he has the full shilling when it comes to the time.
Come on, I have a social life too, you know, to an extent. Sort of. Pressing my head against the table, I tried to stave off an oncoming headache when the notification for a new email pops up. All I'm expecting is, hey, this looks like a good project I found, go send them a design, or something like that, really. That's often how it goes. Even with these rich jammy clients who's heard of me from their equally rich jammy friends, I can't expect them to hire me right off the bat. Which is all well and good and reasonable. We figure out what they want, send them my portfolio, my drafts, their projects, my rates, and hope for the best. This is a big client, Marianne. I'll babysit Baruthaloo for you. Just please take this one project. I promise this person is huge in Luxburn. Mr. Parker, this is a formal request to secure the services of Marianne McCullough, hereinafter called the designer, as authorized by Hannah Wright, hereinafter called the client for interior design work at Ermengarde Mansion, Luxburn LX180RF, United Kingdom. The client hopes to have a designer there on the 21st of October, Friday, with the time pending. Trevor's about to try and beat Rebirth Wall. But as I open the mail and see that I've been requested by the client specifically, well, I certainly didn't expect that, and it's pretty straightforward, too. Anyone else would be excited. They would be working with the Hannah Wright. She's one of those rich socialites that everyone loves to talk about, no matter how hard I try to tune out such nonsense. It would have been enough for me to reply an affirmative to Chris and leave, but he has never pleaded for me to take a project before. We've worked with big personalities in the past, celebrities, bankers, and even a few politicians. My PA has been indifferent about those. So the question bounced out about my skill before I spy one of those email attachments. A newspaper clipping from Luxburn's Daily Business Association boasting headline, Wright Enterprise donates $2.5 million to refugee. Sort of caused quite a stir back then. Apparently they invited businessmen and socialites everywhere in the guise of being some big business now.
$2.5 million and an expensive looking party to boot. These people sure know how to throw their money around.
Not that I should be so callous. They're going to do a lot of good and help a community of people with all those pounds. I, of all people, shouldn't criticize such acts whether they were for show or not. At the very least, I know they'll be able to pay my rates. If the headline's out of the way, However, I found myself staring at the picture that came along with the clipping. Because wow, here I'm expecting a sour, old woman in a blazer and skirt, but the woman who is plastered on the front page looks like she belongs to the front page of an entertainment section, or even, if I need to be crass, as the pinup for a glamour. Okay, I'll be real here. A men's magazine. Oh my. She sure knows how to rock that dress. What up, Fortnite gamer? How you doing? Wait. Her hair, her eyes, her lips. She can't be her. And at the same time, she is her, only several years older. She looks just like... No, come on, Mac. The world is full of pretty blondes. It's just a coincidence. With shaking my head, I snap out of it and reach for my phone when it buzzes, nearly falling off my chair in the process. Okay, where are we? Where are we? Oh my... We are so far back. Okay. Who else would be on the other line but the very people waiting for me?
Oh, piss. I'm so sorry, Cam. I'm on my way.
That's what I say. Yet, I still don't move from my chair, face flushed and heart racing. I can only stare until I can will myself to reply that yes, I'm accepting the assignment. It takes even more time for me just to close the image, shut down the computer, and leave. Even then, it's already been burned its image into my head, no matter how much I wished it would just disappear. Makes me eager for alcohol in the company. Makes me eager for anything that can help me forget. It's a good thing that the nearest pub is just a hop, skip, and a jump from here. The Galway Shawl. As it's known by those who frequented the place, it's the only decent Irish pub in this country. You can pretty much tell someone is new if they call it by its official name, the Crawl Bar. My home away from home ever since I moved to Luxburn. Well, that is when I'm not cooped up in my condo and working away. Has good alcohol, good company, and thank God and St. Cecilia, good music. Crowd favorites like the Bothy Noise, the High Wesleyan Man, and the Second Fusion Orchestra are often played. Not to mention the singing. I love singing. Anyone could break out into a drinking song, and others in the pub were just wonderful that they'd start singing along. And doing so while intoxicated, the best ways to go about it. Cody the Goat, thanks for the follow, friend. Much appreciated, and welcome, welcome. Hey, it's a win-win as long as I don't puke in the middle of the chorus, and as long as I can get home in one place at the end of the day. And tonight is karaoke night. What better time to try and sing all my words away? That's what my intoxicated brain tells me.
The ghost of guilt and sorrow remembers who I am. And in the prison of my heart, I was my only slave.
Hey, chat. Question. Why didn't they change the background music for this shit? Because this doesn't match. Even a little bit. But drinking only reminds me of my home, and the thought of home makes me think of her.
But in the depths of my cold soul, I'll leave the burden and despair.
Makes me nauseous. Sickens me. The smallest part of her can cause me such grief.
I'll fight for what's worth fighting for. Forget the fear, forget the rest.
Of course, that might be the booze. Any other day I would have scolded myself. I am so confused for drinking so much. It's just so odd. Like, even if they silenced the music, that would have been better.
I lied to the Lord, I lied to myself, I lied to you and everyone I care, until there were no more lies to tell.
But I already had a client, and we'll be having our first little meet and greet in a few days.
Cowardice is easier than being brave, but at last I found the strength I lost to sing my love letter to you.
Oh, letter?
'Cause people can lie, but my lone heart beats true.
This is the weirdest decision! Why did they choose this? Also, hi, Care, on that note. At least I want to enjoy this night, get the hangover tomorrow, and return to being a prim and proper professional after.
That song was for Cam, our lucky bride-to-be. So give her a hand, go
Why
away,
did they
Sean.
not use the background music? This is so fucking weird. Considering the state I'm in, no one can excuse my smug grin as cheers and applause rise among the pub's patrons. Because possibly off-key public singing aside, I feel like I'm on top of the world right now, and that's a good reason to belt out in front of these strangers. With good drinks and good friends, there's nowhere I'd rather be tonight. And forget a while. Zach died. Yeah. Yeah, I fucked up. Zach died. Yeah.
And that song was brought to you by Marianne McCullough, everyone! A round of applause!
That was so good.
You
rock, Marianne. Oh,
Don't tell
please
Aiden.
stop.
I don't want to tell anyone.
You're just saying
I
that.
just wish it didn't happen. I'm really upset.
You know neither of us can hold a tune, Marianne. A toast to our shameless drunk singer. May your drinks forever flow and your notes be ever lovely.
If anyone deserves a toast tonight, that's Cam. Finally sealed the deal after 3 years, eh? Read 'em and weep, bitches.
Kamala's diamond engagement ring gleams as she holds it up for all the world to see. She has reasons to be proud. 3 years of living together, and her boyfriend finally asked her the big question. Remy is about to get laid. What? Obviously, she said
Don't
yes.
get too attached to that ring or the one after, sweetie. I was wearing a wedding ring not so long ago, and look at where I am. But enough of me being a downer. Cheers to a happy engagement!
Who says that to their friend when they're getting married? What? Of course, it's something that Haruna's divorce were to happen. I'd be there for Cam. Just as Cam had been there for me, acting more than just my yoga instructor, I can't be happier for my friend right now.
Cheers! Cheers.
Well, we both will be there for Cam, won't we? Haruna and I. Haruna, it's been a really bad year for her ever since her divorce. Her divorce is bad, Chit. She's such a nice person, even loaning me money to open a studio, and she didn't deserve what her husband had pulled. Haruna Matata. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm happy she's smiling again, picking out like she used to. I think we all missed our Japanese firecracker. What the fuck is this accent, chat? We met in yoga class, something I enjoyed just to keep myself in shape, and, well, honestly, so that I could make friends when I moved to Luxport. Clearly, it worked like a charm. Like a charm. And it definitely didn't have anything to do with the fact that I brought my lucky D20 die with me that first day. No, sir. Oh, no. Chat, she's a nerd? Is she the waifu of the game? I love this girl so much.
What about you, Marianne? You're 30 years old and you still haven't got yourself a man. And you guys know I have a very busy schedule. I don't have time for that.
I agree.
Oh,
no
come
one has
on.
time for a man.
That's a lame excuse and you know it. You need a man who'll take care of you and you need it now. Maybe some hunk who'll be your house hubby while you rake in the dough. I'm quite capable of taking care of myself. Who needs a Mr. Right? Hey, look at me. I'm Marianne McCullough, a lawful neutral cleric with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in charisma, but I can't get myself a date.
Hey, Chad.
I'm quite capable of taking care of myself. Who needs a Mr. Right?
Remember how I was saying earlier, like in our first round with Isabella, that I thought McCullough and Mr. Right fucked? Is this fucking foreshadowing, chat? Is this fucking foreshadowing? I mentioned druids and demons once! Don't even know the rules and understand what the numbers mean! And I'm certainly not some sort of holy person. I'm a far cry from miracle worker, and I barely have the willpower to fight off demons, especially now.
Actually, maybe she isn't looking for a Mr. Right, but a Mrs. Right. Oh, my Marianne, we still love you even if you're in the closet. That would explain some things. How do you know you don't have a ring anymore? Maybe you two can be together and I don't have to worry about my best girls being alone. What are you on about? There's nothing to explain.
But the more I deny, the louder they tease until the other people in the pub start to watch. It doesn't help at all when Haruta drapes her arm over my shoulders and leans
Will I
in.
be all yours then? Will you be making me feel like a woman?
I know they're kidding around, but this doesn't make me comfortable in the slightest. God damn it. So Camilla notices my silence, and Haruta sees the expression on my face, they stop. And when the awkward air settles over us, the rest of the pub goes back to whatever they were doing before the whole thing happened. They probably won't even remember when they wake up with massive hangovers anyway.
Sorry.
Me too.
Hey, no hard feelings, right?
I raise my glass. And twerk that ass! Wait, they smile. We drink. There's no need to say anymore. We're all definitely far too drunk tonight. Eventually the fun times end. It is a weekday after all. And with Haruna being a nurse, she still has to get ready for her next shift. Cam also has a lovely fiancé waiting for her at home, and really didn't have to make a fuss about having left some buns in the oven when she took off early. Really, I understand. I was the one who insisted, who was determined to get pissed drunk anyway. Moving to the bar, I sit, alone at last. Along with a stranger. I hadn't seen him here before, obviously not a regular. He hasn't said a word and just sits there, savoring his drink, with his whiskey served neat in one hand and lighter in the other. And it doesn't look like he's noticed me yet, and maybe I should go away before he does look my way, because he was pretty, and he was blonde, and those two things, plus alcohol, never did me any good. A thought too late. Judging by the way his flushed face and dazed look in his eyes, he's as piss-drunk as I am. But whereas I feel like keeling over, he looks like he's ready to take the catwalk by storm. Really, he just has an air of being one of those men who think they own the world.
Hello there, sexy. Please don't stand up on my account. I already like what I see. Fancy a drink? It'll be on me.
But then again, I might be pleasantly surprised if he proves me wrong. I don't think he is, Chet.
Want some between the sheets? Sex on the beach? I'm talking cocktails, of course.
Fat chance. But it doesn't matter. We both know how to play this game. There are two different ways for the night to end. One thing or another thing is going to happen. The question is, what do I want?
Oh no, that's fine. I'd rather order some blue balls or some AMF if you don't mind.
Oh, Chet, how I love AMFs. Looks like he's about to say some witty retort, but stops himself and downs the rest of his whiskey. Oh, by the way, in case you guys don't know what an AMF stands for and why that joke is like top tier, an AMF is an adios motherfucker. So, that good old shade, Chat. Good joke. I order a mint julep, he gets another whiskey, and we start the customary small talk. Of course, the saying ask me no questions and I'll tell you no lies goes without saying. We ask nothing about each other, offering up falsehoods to establish a strenuous fake connection between strangers at a pub, if only to pass the time. Whiskey, as I have come to call him, is supposedly 21 years old, single, takes care of his sick mother, and is a manager of some sorts. Manager of what? I don't care to listen to the details. Meanwhile, Mint, as he's come to call me, is 29, and I'm... What did I say I was again? Oh yeah, I told him I was a professional chocolate taster, because fuck it! If I'm gonna lie about what my job is, might as well make it fun. A pretty decent chat between two pretty drunk strangers. And maybe it's just me, but we might as fucking well expend the tiniest amount of effort pretending there's something meaningful in this meeting. Would have been nice too, if that's what, if it just was left at that. But during the long conversation, he brings it up.
You know, I've never been with a woman taller than me.
And I think he might have been different from the rest.
Never have and never will, whiskey. Can we go back to the history of chocolates? Did you know that chocolate candy was introduced in 19th century England as a healthier alternative to alcohol?
St. Lucy was the most beautiful woman of her time. She had men come from all four quarters of the world just to see the pure light of her exquisite green eyes. If she were so lucky enough.
No, enough of the history lesson. Come on, Mint. You know and I know what you came here for.
Though not every suitor was gallant, and she was no fool. She'd known that sooner or later she wouldn't be able to defend her chastity.
Come on. There must be something that gets you going.
So she had taken out a knife and gouged out her own eyes.
There is something, but
Jesus.
I don't think you can handle it.
Impressed with her devotion, God restored her eyes and made them more beautiful than before. He has a peculiar sense of humor, hasn't he? Because that only means suitors kept going after Lucy, and she kept her eyes in chalice to scare them away.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I can handle whatever it is.
St. Lucy, help me. Help me turn away from sin. Help me with my own blindness.
My place isn't too far from here. I won't take care of you if it ends up being too much for you. And no one will be able to hear you if you try to scream. You sure you want to go down that road, pretty boy?
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh, chat.